You're calling from a 703 area code. Who are you? Where are you calling from?
Oh, hi. Is this me? This is Nathan from Virginia.
Nathan, it's you from Virginia. What's on your mind?
Well, first and foremost, right off the top, got to be honest with you. I'm a Republican. I know. Give me a moment. I also voted for a Boy Scout in the last election we had here a couple days ago, because I, like you, am of the mind that, Jesus H, these are a bunch of, unrepentant morons that we can't let anywhere near the levels of power. We're obviously seeing the fallout from the old douchebag of that right now. And, I'd say, again, off the top, half of my foreign policy is informed by Eisenhower, and the other half is informed by Frank Herbert to some degree. And, I'm with you, man. Like, it's, I think issue number one is the environment, because we have to protect the biosphere, if we're ever going to carry this, American experiment forward. And the second thing we got to do is nuclear disarmament, because those weapons, again, pose an existential threat to the species. And, I don't want to take up too much of your time. I just want to say, for the record, there are some of us here with the R next to our names who have been watching the last 15 to 20 years of, just egregious mistake after egregious mistake. And we're building slowly sort of, I don't want to say alt-right, but, a new sort of right.
Well, I wouldn't say alt-right, because then we're very far apart on that.
Which is one of the things that I really
what about a Republican DSA caucus? What about that?
Yeah, I gotta, to be honest, I've read Marx too. In terms of philosophy, I'm more of a Sartre guy. I think that the guy I blame for all of this, the patient zero, was that notion back in the 80s, where government is the problem. And when you think about it for a moment, like, if government's the problem, man, why are you in government? In fact, why do we have a government? Sam said something really resonated with me a couple of days ago. It's like, well, if the smallest form of government is the best, well, why don't we just govern at the state, or at the county, at the house?
Right.
It's just a lot of
you
stuff.
don't sound like a Republican to me, man.
Yeah, run for office.
Yeah, you should run for office as a Republican.
We will boost your.
We'll signal boost your campaign. I'm assuming.
No, I'm being honest with you guys right now. I'm from New York, originally New York City, Staten Island. Don't make fun of me. I'm there, but you guys have really, over the past couple of years, listening to Sam, and kind of broadening my horizons. I was a card-carrying Republican by the age of 13. And I just, over time, thank you for, having the conversation that you guys do and having the voices on. I love the discussion earlier today in American foreign policy. And yeah, we're working on it. Hopefully real soon we'll be able to go back to having more rational discussions on 16 forms of air travel? Why? How?
Yeah.
For
we'll
what?
see about
What's
that.
The social good there?
We'll see about that.
What keeps you in the
Take care,
party?
you
Yeah,
guys.
well,
Keep
yeah,
fighting the
that's a
good
good
fight.
question. Why do you still unless you're about to drop on us something really fucking abominable that you're just like, oh, I'm with you guys, and other besides, women should basically be enslaved. What? Unless it's something like that, what keeps you? Is it just is it like a Kevin Phillips? Is it like a thing where you never vote for Republicans anymore? You're the political opponent of all these people, but you feel like, you mentioned Eisenhower. I have huge problems with Eisenhower, but fair enough. It's not, I'll just put it to you. If somebody says they admire Eisenhower, that's not the same as saying they admire Reagan or even, or Nixon for that matter, and certainly Trump. But what keeps you in this party? Is it just because of a philosophical commitment to something that doesn't exist anymore? Or is there really something still in this party that you actually resonate with? Because it doesn't sound like it.
No, I'll be honest with you, it's a philosophical, commitment. And way back, I had the chance to expatriate, and I didn't, because it's sappy, I know, put on the put on the audio over this, but I believe in the military. Eisenhower, and the reason I love Eisenhower, his farewell address, the military-industrial complex. This is the guy who was at the helm of, probably one of the greatest war machines ever created, right? A concerted global effort. And at the end of all that, coming back home to, democracy after watching the world get ravaged, this dude understood that, holy hell, we've got a real, three-headed beast on our hands. And it's that confluence of where private industry coupled with, government oversight, and can be channeled to do great things and also great destructive things.
I gotta jump real quick. I hear you, although I wish Eisenhower had done something about that earlier, and also not supported the coups in Guatemala and things like that, which I would read up on. Read Steve Kinzer's book on the Dulles brothers. That's a really good book. But just give me one name. I'm assuming you're going to vote against Trump in 2020, right? I'm assuming.
Of course.
So, as a Republican who will be voting for a Democrat, who would be your Democratic pick? Just give me. Don't even explain it. Just give me one word. We won't even respond.
Bernie.
Really okay, Bernie.
Bernie. If he runs, he's got my vote. 100%.
All right. Thanks for the call, brother. There you go. More Republicans should be like that guy. Yeah, that's when people ask me Republicans that I'm willing to work and dialogue with. There you go.
Anyone who claims this moment is the start of the problem, yeah, here we go.
Yep.
This present crisis, government is not the solution to our problem. Government is the problem.
There you go.